Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the battles? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO. Bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, shit, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and face your rival, this ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken and get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef, I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO. Bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing. It's your boy D Free, aka the Oscar Hater, aka I Don't Respect Ring Magazine. And we back with the Roll with the Punches, podcast, episode 14. How you feeling, man?
I can hear you now. You going in and out. I can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me all the way good now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good, man.
Happy Labor Day, man.
Happy Labor Day.
So we got a lot to talk about, man. So we all seen what happened with Bomac. You know, Bomac, I guess he want to be his own security, man. What you think about that, man?
It's a lot of questions to be answered. We don't know if he traveled over there with the weapon. We don't know if he got it while he was over there. We don't know why he just had it in his book bag, why he didn't have it registered to go back on the plane the way it's supposed to go. I mean, it's a lot of questions. I'm waiting for all of the facts to come out before I make my judgment on it. But the one thing that can't be ignored is the fact that the UK, they have a strict gun law where nobody can walk around with a weapon over there. Even the police doesn't carry a weapon. So it's in order for you to have a weapon over there, you have to be authorized to have a weapon. And usually the people that is authorized is high-end law enforcement, like U.S. Marshal, FBI, federal agents, stuff like that. So it's some questions to be answered. So I mean, and like I said, we got to see the whole picture unfold because there's always two sides to a story. So I just don't know what's going on, Bruce Gas. I don't know the whole side. I mean, I don't know Bomac's side. I know what the article said, and I know what was put out. But like I said, there's always two sides to every story, and in between the both sides of the story is where the truth lies at. So I have to see both sides of the story.
I mean, you know, I think the thing is we all know about the whole Daniel Kinahan incident where, you know, he had the issue with Bud was working with a known gangster, a known mobster, which is, to me, I think is deplorable. But hey, what can we do about that? I'll just tell you this. It's just a doggone shame that, you know, Bomac is taken away from Terrence Crawford becoming the undisputed champion, first undisputed champion at welterweight in the four belt era. I mean, I think it's just crazy, man. It seems like maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but it seems like we just got our brains on neutral, man. Like, who does that type of stuff, man? Seriously, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. We seeing this more and more where these celebrities, these athletes are walking around and getting caught with weapons. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they feel that their life is that much in jeopardy that they need to carry a weapon. But I understand that you might need to have a weapon, but when you get those weapons, make sure you know what the law is. Make sure you follow it to a T so you don't get hemmed up. And if you in a spot where you can't carry a weapon, you got enough money to hire security. If you feel your life is that much in jeopardy, hire security.
Hey, D Free, you know this better than anybody, man. You can hire law enforcement no matter where you go. This
Right.
ain't this ain't the Wild Wild West, bro. If you're not a gangster, why won't you just hire law enforcement? Am I
Yeah.
wrong to think that? I
No.
mean,
I mean, like, see, I understand how they feel because I come from the inner city. I knows what it feels like when you got to look over your shoulder every time you step out the door. But I also know if I work this hard to get to the place in life that I've been wanting to get to, I'm not gonna do anything to jeopardize me or throw that away. So I gotta make sure I be able to provide for my family and keep the lights on and keep food on my table. So I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make sure I follow the law to the T. Because like I said, if you feel your life is that much in jeopardy, then go ahead and get a carry concealed license. If you in a spot where you can't carry a weapon,
mhm.
you got enough money, hire security. If you feel like your life is that much in jeopardy, or if you feel like somebody might just try, your life might not be in jeopardy, but you feel like you at that spot in your life where somebody might just try to run up on you, then hire security. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed about hiring security. I mean, we see people we see all types of celebrities walk around with security. Shit, Floyd Mayweather walk around with like 8, 9 guys every single day. You don't never see Floyd without security. Never. You never see
Never.
Tank Davis without security. They always
No.
got security around them. So it ain't nothing to be ashamed of to hire security. You at that spot in life where a lot of people want to be at, you need security.
And you know, I say this for one. I'm gonna go on a limb here. I don't see nobody trying to kidnap Bomac. Am I am I wrong? to think that?
I don't know. I can't say because I know I'm not around Bomac 24/7. I don't sit here and follow Bomac every single day, find out what he does and all that. So I don't know if he had a threat on his life over in the UK. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's always two sides to the story. So I don't know what was the reason why he had a gun. I don't even know if he even put that gun in there. I mean, very well could have been one of his people that was with him. They put the gun in his bag. I don't know. But I mean, it's a whole lot of unanswered questions. So I'm not going to pass judgment until I have both sides of the story.
You know what I forgot? I forgot about my co-host. My co-host is a politician. I forgot about that, y'all. Forgive me, man. I forgot about this brother being a
Nope,
politician, man.
I'm not a politician. I just don't. I don't like to have to recant what I said. Like if I sit here and put a jacket on somebody, and it comes out I'm wrong. I'm not the one to try to. Have to recant what I say. When I put a jacket on, it's because that jacket fits you very well. I'm not saying hey put a jacket on that's too small or a jacket that's too big. That jacket is tailor made for you when I put it on you.
Well, let me ask you. You talk about putting on jackets, right? How come you don't put the jacket of the greatest of all time on Floyd Mayweather's back or on Oscar De La Hoya's back? Why is that?
What
They
what jacket?
both the jacket of them being some of the greatest fighters of all time. How come I never he put that jacket on them?
Floyd Mayweather. I have put Floyd Mayweather as one of the greatest of all times. Oscar De La Hoya is not one of the greatest of all times.
Oh yeah.
He's not.
Salute to my brother AB. Salute to my brother Josh, man. It's just funny, man, because that's what my
Is
brother
a no
D3
good, lousy son of a
Hey,
bitch.
hey, hey!
That's exactly what he is.
I'm just saying he's a Hall of Famer by all
Yeah.
means, but he is not one of the greatest of all times. He's not. He's
Can
a
I ask
Hall
you
of
this?
Famer. I give him that. He's a Hall of Famer. He was a hell of a fighter. He fought everybody. He didn't duck nobody, but he's not one of the greatest of all times.
Hey, but not to veer off of it too much on this, but I just wondering, man, the long term, will this affect Bud's legacy? Because it seems like everything negative always happens around Bud. I don't understand why Bud's always surrounded by this kind of controversy.
It has nothing to do with Bud. Bud name was not mentioned in there. The only thing that was mentioned in there that had Bud name was that Bomac is Bud's trainer. Bud had nothing to do with what happened with Bomac. That has nothing to do with Bud at all. That's Bomac. That's solely on Bomac. Now, it might have a long-term effect on Bomac, but that has nothing to do with Bud. Bud, hey, he didn't get caught with no gun. He didn't get arrested. He's not sitting in jail. Bud is sitting at home or wherever he's at with his family. That has nothing to do with Bud. That's solely on Bomac.
Well, with that being said, will this affect him being trainer of the year?
It's hard to say because it shouldn't, because what he did outside the ring has nothing to do with how he trains his fighters inside the ring. But we all know how old media and how the sport of boxing likes to run shit. So it very well could have an effect on his trainer of the year, because he was the top candidate for trainer of the year. Oh, I ain't gonna say was, he is the top candidate for trainer of the year. But I don't know if it's going to affect it or not.
I'll say this, man. This is something that I really want to ask you. Getting off that Bomac, so if Tank beats Isaac Cruz next, what's the next fight for him?
For Tank?
Yes.
It should be Shakur.
Does Shakur even have a chance to get somebody like Tank Davis? Seriously?
Yeah, he can get Tank Davis now if Bob want to make that fight. He can get Tank Davis now.
What I don't, it's this thing I don't understand. When it comes to Shakur, man, how come he's not held to the same standard that we hold Devin Haney to, that we hold Frank Martin to? I mean, we hold all these other black fighters a certain way, but because Sugar Shakur is Spanish, man, he can just do whatever he wants. He can fight old guys.
No, he don't.
I don't understand why he don't get no flag, man. He gets no flag.
I don't know what YouTube channels you go to, but all the people I talk to, they say that Shakur should have took that fight with Devin Haney. They said he should have took the fight. I mean, a lot of people saying Devin Haney should have went ahead and negotiated a little bit more, or waited to see what the WBC had came back with their ruling. But no, I mean, ain't nobody saying that Shakur can move however he wants. Shakur hasn't been moving however he wants. The only person that he fought that nobody wanted to see him fight was this last guy, Yonosi or whatever the hell his name is, the Japanese dude. That's the only person that Mario. Yeah, that's the only person that he fought that nobody wanted to see. But when he fought Harry, he fought Harry, that was for a belt. So niggas wanted to see him get a belt. When he fought Oscar Valdez, that was the unified belt. So niggas wanted to see him do that. They wanted to see him go undisputed, but he said he couldn't make the weight no more. So he moved up to 35.
That's the thing I'm saying, man. So we hearing the whole thing about the Frank Martin Sugar Shakur fight going to purse bid. Why is it going to purse bid? Why is Sugar not doing everything he can to make that fight?
It's going to purse bid. It might not be because of him. It might go to purse bid because of the money. Now the purse bid is the money. It's not the split. He's going to get the split that he's going to get. It might be they not offering enough money for the fight. Like they might say the purse bid. They say they asked Bob Arum say, okay, I'm only spending $5 million on this fight. Shakur might say, okay, $5 million. That means I'm gonna walk away with roughly like 2 and some change. So Shakur said, okay, I think I could get more money if we go to purse bid. The same way your boy T.O. did.
Oh, here we go.
He did the same thing. He did the same thing. He went to purse bid. They cahoots together. Him and Kambosos cahoots together to go to purse bid, and they had got a purse bid of $6 million. Where
what the fuck you say?
T.O. was going to get $4 million and Kambosos was going to get $2 million. But then Triller ended up pulling out of that fight, and they end up going to the zone. And I think T.O. ended up walking away with like $2 million, and Kambosos got like $1 million.
So let me get this straight, and I want the people to know. I don't want to mislead the people in any way. So basically, D3 is saying that the 2-time lineal champion, Teofimo Lopez, can spar with another fighter to go to purse bid. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm not saying that that's what happened. Even Bob came out and said it. That's what happened.
Bob is a liar, and you know he's a liar. Bob's always been a liar.
Bob lies about stuff. The one thing Bob don't lie about is his money. That's one thing he don't lie about. He don't lie about his money. He lie about other shit, but he don't lie about the money. And why else would Kambosa go to a purse bid? Kambosa is the mandatory. Why else would he go to the purse bid? He's not getting the bulk of the money. T.O. is.
Salute to my brother AB.
The person that's sending it to a purse bid is the one that doesn't agree with the split. That doesn't agree with the amount of money that they get. That's the one that's sending it to a purse bid. Kambosa is the mandatory. He didn't give a fuck what the money was. He wanted to fight for the championship. He's the mandatory. He's going to get whatever they give.
So this is what you're doing. You accusing a 2-division world champion of conspiring with another fighter to get a bigger purse? He wasn't a 2-division world champion at the time that he did it. What are you talking about? I'm just asking you a question, man. You said that's what he's doing. I'm putting it in logical form. He wasn't a 2-division champion when he did it. Salute to my brother Tommy, man, from the Bronx, man. I definitely thought I smelled some chopped cheese and adobo in the chat, man.
Speaking of what? Speaking of Thomas, mm-hmm. he wants you and your boy to join the league so we can do this draft tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you can send that to us. We can do that. We could do that.
He needs y'all to join the league so we can do this draft tomorrow, because we only need a couple of more people so we can go ahead and do this draft.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. But you know, I think this is the thing to me that I think is just crazy, man. The fact that you would call out T.O. and say that T.O. conspired to go to purse bid to get more money. That don't even sound like something T.O. would do. This is a guy who fights anybody. He's the can man. African, American.
You say that doesn't sound like what T.O. would do. To get more money?
It just don't sound like it, because I've seen T.O. take $1 million.
So what you're telling me is T.O. went to Eddie Hearn and asked for $10 million, and then he turned around and said, "No, I want $20 million to fight Devin Haney." T.O. didn't do that.
His father did that.
T.O. did it. It wasn't his father. It was T.O. T.O. was standing in front of Eddie Hearn and said, "I want $10 million," and Eddie Hearn said, "Okay, I give you $10 million. Can you make the fight, or do you got to go to Bob?" That's what Eddie Hearn said.
I hear you, man. Salute to my brother Tommy.
I'll pull a video up for you if you want it.
Pull the video up. I want to see a video, man, because I just see you conspiring against a 2-division champion, 2-time lineal champion.
I'm glad you said that.
Roll the tape, man. Roll the tape.
I am. I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about.
Salute to my brother Big Tex. He said, "What's poppin', family? What's up with you, my brother?" My brother A1 said, "Don't ever take a day off and let BBO run." Run. A1 is rough, man. You know, he did that movie, man. Jungle Fever, played Gator. So he just still on my bumper, man. I'm done roasting, man. I'm over that. But let's get back to what we were talking about. So we just heard D-Free just do a total cap on Teofimo Lopez. But I want to ask you guys this. When are we going to hold Tank Davis accountable for him lying to the people that he was in charge of his own career? He was going to fight only the best. Again, I heard his coach and mentor Calvin Ford say, "I don't like Sugar Shakur's numbers. I don't think we're going to get that fight." What you got to say about that, D-Free?
He said he don't like what?
He don't like Shakur's numbers. He said he don't think that fight makes sense financially. After he had just said he flipped the coin to see if it was between Devin and Sugar Shakur. So what you think about that?
Who said that?
That's what Calvin Ford said.
Yeah, Calvin Ford didn't flip no coin.
I thought it was him, and I thought it was him and his other. I can't remember the other guy. His other trainer.
Calvin Ford wasn't there. That was Kenny that did that. Coach Kenny did that. That wasn't Calvin Ford.
Coach Kenny.
Calvin Ford has been saying he wanted Pitbull Cruz rematch. That's what Calvin Ford's been saying. Coach Kenny said we're going to flip a coin. It's going to be heads. It's going to be Devin. Tails is going to be Shakur, and it landed on tails. This is when Tank Davis was in jail. All this happened when Tank Davis was in jail.
So basically, what you're telling me, that was all cap and talk, right?
I'm saying they can't make a move without Devin Haney saying what they can do.
Salute to my brother Dr. Mark, man. My brother Josh.
I mean, not Devin Haney, Tank Davis. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen for this man. Let me share my screen for this man. This man here be woo. This man here. This nigga talking about, oh, let me see the tape. Oh,
we gotta roll the tape. We gotta roll the tape, man.
You gonna see the tape.
D Freeze a very intelligent guy, man. You know he'll put a wool over you, man. You got to watch a guy like him.
Can you see my screen?
No, I can't see your screen yet.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Oh,
is that the one where Arrow holding both the belts that he lost?
Hold on. Hold up, let me go back to it.
And you see, John, there's no video, man. You see that's what D Freeze do. All I see is a video. All I see is Spence holding up the two belts that he lost.
Hold on. Let me get out of this. All right, hold on. Let me go back to it. I gotta go back to it and set it screen.
But while he's doing that, y'all, I want y'all to take a think about something. So Tank Davis is fighting Esau Cruz, right? How in the world is he the face of boxing? He's fighting Esau Cruz, and you got the great Canelo Alvarez.
You see it in the background right there? Hold up. You see it in the background? On the backstage?
Hold on, let me look and see. Yeah, I can see it now. Go ahead. Yeah. You know, hey, but like I was saying, y'all, it's funny how we talk about this, right? But we don't talk about the fact that Tank Davis, who said he's his own boss, still is on the flat for the Mexican tour. But you got Teofimo Lopez about to come back and get his belt and probably fight a real dangerous contender, whether it be Matias or the Regis Devin winner. I mean, I just don't understand. It seems like in some cases, man, it seems like one fighter has to do all the work. And I think it's just a travesty that Tank Davis is not held to any kind of standard, because you got Canelo Alvarez risking it all, fighting Jermell Charlo, former 154-pound undisputed champion, who had probably the toughest route to undisputed. So, I mean, you got a guy like that, and then you got Tank, who just fight flat-footed Mexicans. You say he's a face of boxing. When we going to stop the cap and tell the people the truth, man? At the end of the day, man, I'm starting to believe this about Sugar Shakur, and I definitely believe this about Tank. They do a lot of talking. Remember, Tank is the same guy that grabbed that girl up like that in the middle of in the front of everybody at a boxing match. And I put it like this: if that was your daughter, if that was your niece, what would you say if somebody grabbed your niece up like the way you seen Tank Davis? Tank Davis is a piece of trash, man. Outside the ring, and when it comes inside the ring, he don't fight.
Did you just see it?
Hold on 1 second. How old is this video? How old is that video?
This is when they were supposed to, before Tio fought Cambosa. That was before Tio fought Cambosa.
I look a little doctor, but I'll take it. It look a little doctor, but okay.
That was fight hype. That's not something I pulled up. That's fight hype in the interview.
You don't know shit about boxing.
That's what Fight Hype did. I get interview, and Tio was like, "Well, I want $10 million." He said, "I'll give you $10 million. Can you make the fight?" He said, "Yeah, I can make the fight." And they shook hands on it.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. Nobody wants to admit it, but you know what? Hey, Devin Haney ducked Tio. It happens. They stole Tio's opportunity to be undisputed with this whole franchise championship stuff. I mean, it's just crazy, man. But I'm just wondering, man, you know, will history really ever remember Tank Davis the way he's moving in boxing? Will you think history will remember him in a good way?
Oh, Tank Davis?
If he never fights Sugar, if he never fights Devin Haney, will Sugar remember him in a positive light?
He probably never want to fight Devin Haney because Devin Haney is not in the weight class no more. It's only if Tank Davis decide to go to 140 or if they fight at a catchweight, because he's not at the weight class no more.
I just don't get. He said Canelo is a drug cheat and the biggest ducks in boxing. Stop the 10K. I love Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a great fighter. Tank Davis is a terrific fighter, man. He's one of my favorite fighters from the DMV. He really is. He's terrific, great power, great ring IQ. Reminds me a lot of Pretty Boy Floyd, but maybe a little bit more power. The difference is, let me finish this. The difference between Pretty Boy and Tank is that Pretty Boy fought everybody. Pretty Boy fought Castillo. I guarantee you don't see Tank trying to fight a Castillo. He don't fight those dangerous guys that can hurt him. He would never fight a Chico McDonald. He just never would do it. So I mean, at some point we got to call what we see.
Tank Davis can't be your favorite fighter from the DMV. He can't be.
How can he?
Because he ain't from the DMV.
Ain't he from Baltimore?
Yeah, he's from Baltimore.
Ain't Maryland part of the DMV?
No,
I thought it was District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. My mistake.
no, it's the metropolitan area. That's the DMV. Everything
Oh, okay.
the subway rides around. That's the DMV. The Beltway 495. That's the DMV.
Okay, I always thought it was DC, Maryland, and
It's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Yeah, but it's only the metropolitan area of DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Baltimore wouldn't hit that. Oh yeah, Baltimore would just be out of it. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, Baltimore
Okay.
is off of 95. They off of 95. They
I
outside
see.
of it. That's just like Keyshawn Davis. He's from Norfolk, Virginia, but that's not the DMV. He's from Norfolk, Virginia, but that's not the DMV.
But well, let me ask you this. Salute to my brother Tommy saying that D Freeze a wild boy. But let me ask you this, man. What do you think about Demetrius Andrade calling out the Mexican monster? We haven't heard nothing from him. What you think about that?
Huh?
I said, what you think about Boo Boo Andrade calling out David Benavidez, but we're not hearing nothing from David?
I mean, what is there to hear from David? They making the fight.
He seemed like he don't want the fight, man.
Yeah, when you heard David Benavidez say he don't want the fight.
The same thing he said with Morrell was that they got a con. His dad told me his dad said he got a contract and they didn't fight Morrell. So what tells me he's going to fight? What makes you think he's going to fight Boo Boo Andrade?
I said, where did you hear from David Benavidez that he wasn't trying to fight Boo Boo?
I haven't heard him say he is going to fight Boo Boo either.
Yes, you did.
From who?
David Benavidez. That's where the talk for the fight came from. It came from David Benavidez.
This is the thing I'm saying. He said, how someone from the land going to know that? LOL. Hey, the truth is, I wouldn't know that. But this is the thing I'm saying, man. This is the thing I'm saying. I don't understand why we don't hold David Benavidez to these hard things that we hold Paul, that we hold Canelo to. Canelo's held to such a high standard. Every time I turn around, you got great brothers like Dr. I'm just saying they hold Canelo to this high standard. Like, oh, Canelo got to talk about, he got to call out the big fights. Tank got to call out the big fights. But I don't understand that. How in the world?
I'm trying to figure out what are you talking about with David Benavidez? What are you talking about? What standard?
I'm just saying he not held to no standard, man. He just ducked David Morrell. No one's talking about it.
Nigga, I'm the one that's been talking about what you talking about. I told you I got David Morrell over everybody. I've been talking about everybody else been saying that he didn't. I'm the one that's been saying he did. What are you talking about?
You got David Morrell over Charlo?
I got David Morrell over everybody at 168. And I told everybody, I told you, I'm taking money on everybody. I got David Morrell over everybody at 168.
What my brother Dr. Mark said, that's all BS. That Tank won't fight anybody dangerous. His moves were orchestrated by Floyd's overstanding of buys, pay-per-views, business of boxing. I get that, Dr. Mark. I get that. I get that, Dr. Mark. But at the end of the day, Floyd fought a lot of tough guys, and it never was about pay-per-views or none of that. It was just about fighting the tough guys.
Floyd fought guys that Bob put in the ring for him. That's why when Bob wouldn't give him Oscar, he left. He bought his way out of his contract. The same way Tank got out of his contract and said, I'm not going back. The same way. When Floyd wanted to fight Oscar, Bob said, no, I'm not making that fight. Floyd said, all right, I'm leaving. Floyd fought who Bob put in the ring. Floyd wasn't making his own calls. He was fighting who Bob put in the ring. The same way Tank was fighting everybody that Leonard Ellaby and Floyd put in. That's why I said, up to this point, I did not hold Tank accountable for what he did in the sport of boxing. That wasn't his move. Those was Floyd and Leonard Ellaby moves. Now I hold Tank responsible for all the moves that he made because he has the call for all his fights.
Well, I ask you this, man. Are we going to be honest here and say that what Floyd is doing is overshadowing the most important fights by keeping inserting himself into the conversation every time somebody has a good fight?
I already told you that. I told you what Floyd is. Floyd is the P. Diddy of boxing. I told you that. Floyd got to be the center of attention. He's the P. Diddy of boxing. If Floyd got something to do with it, he's going to make sure that his face is put on front screen and he's going to talk in every interview.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. He said Morrell over all those 168. That's total cap because Charlo, I'm telling you, man, Charlo is gonna stop Canelo, bro. He's gonna stop
He,
Canelo.
he's gonna stop Canelo, but that ain't got nothing to do with motherfucking Morrell.
Come on, man. He'll hurt Morrell, man. I'm
And
telling
I
you,
told you, you said that a long time ago, and I told you I got 500 push-ups on Morrell. I told you that.
we did. We got that. So that Bucks like then he said, absolute facts, D3. So let me ask you this, man. So this is the thing I want to know about. We got an upcoming fight with Richardson Hitchens versus Zepeda. How you see that fight going?
With Jose Zepeda, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because Richardson Hitchens, he's been looking better. He's been looking better. He looked like he's starting to get the grasp of the pros, the pro boxing scene. But Jose Zepeda is somewhat of a veteran. Jose Zepeda is going to come in at a fight, and he's going to push Richardson Hitchens. Now, what I will say is, if Richardson Hitchens can outbox him, similar to the way that Regis Prograis did him, he's going to have great success against Jose Zepeda because Jose Zepeda, he has slow feet. He throws a lot of combinations, but he tends to throw one punch at a time when he has a fighter that box better than him. He tends to only throw one punch at a time. The same way he did with Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis was throwing combinations, and Jose Zepeda was just throwing one punch at a time, trying to catch him with a big shot. So I want to favor Richardson Hitchens, but I got to see how he looks in the first couple of rounds. If he looks like he's a fish out of water, it could be a long night for Richardson Hitchens.
You know, I would agree with that. I'll just say what I've seen from Hitchens is great defense, above average ring IQ. The only thing I'm wondering is with that perfect punch placement I've been seeing with him, will that help him because he doesn't have the most power for that division? What do you think?
That very well could hurt. That's why I said he's in there with somewhat of a veteran because Jose Zepeda's been in there with a lot of crafty fighters. So he's in there with somewhat of a veteran. And Richardson Hitchens, this is a big step up fight for him. Like they didn't give him no warm up to get to this point. So this is a big step up fight. It's like he went from amateurs to the pros to front stage. It was like he on front stage. You in there with a guy that was just fighting for a title. So this not a guy that's working his way to a title shot. He just got finished fighting for a title. So I mean, this is a big step up for him. But like I said, I got to see how he looked in the first 4 rounds. If he looks like he looked in his last fight in the first 4 rounds, I say Richardson Hitchens might win this fight. But if he looked like he's a fish out of water, it's going to be a long night for him, or it could be a short night for him.
Well, you know that's a great point. I think the thing I'm wondering with him is, for me, out of Brooklyn, we got him. A lot of people know about Bruce Carrington, aka Shushu. I'm just wondering, are those two guys going to be able to carry the mantle like a Big Daddy Riddick Bowe did, or Mike Tyson, and be those great young fighters from Brooklyn? Because I won't say so much Bruce Carrington. I like him, but I feel like he's too patient. I think that'll hurt him in the long run. What do you think about Bruce Carrington, man, aka Shushu?
I think he's the best prospect out of Brooklyn. He's the best one out of Brooklyn.
Whoa, over Hitchens? Whoa.
Yeah, his defense, his attention to defense and his offense and translate back to defense is much better than Richardson Hitchens. Like he throws combination and still be aware of his defense at the same time. Like that last fight that I just seen Bruce Harrington in, that was another level. That was he put himself up there in the rankings with Abdullah Nason as one of the top prospects in the league right now. He put himself up there because at first I had Abdullah Mason up there by itself, but what I just seen from Shushu, he put himself right up there with Abdullah Mason.
So you think him being that patient is going to be good for him long term? Seriously?
Yeah, because you got to understand, like even though he's patient with his shots, he throws combination. He don't just throw one shot at a time. He throw combination. So he's patient. He throw little fake here and there to see what his opponent is doing, and then once he sees that, he'll throw a shot, and then he'll throw a feint, and then he'll throw a combination right behind the feint. So he's setting his opponent up, and he's doing it at a lower level, and he's working his way up. He's not jumping in there with top competition. He's working his way up. Each competition has been a little bit tougher, each one. So he's getting better and better. And like I said, the last fight that I just seen him in there with, he put himself up there as one of the top prospects up there with Abdullah Mason, because I had Abdullah Mason by far by himself.
You know, I think the funny thing is with Bruce Carrington, aka Shushu, I like how his father kind of brought him along slow. And I don't know if you would agree with me on this. I look at him a lot like a Gary Russell Jr., just a very in control fighter, almost no wasted movement, man. It's like I can't think of a fight that I've ever really seen like a Gary Russell or a young Floyd where you look like they were in there panicking, look like they just got everything under control. And I'm wondering how in the world does the prospect got everything under control like that? Were you impressed by that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, he reminds me. What I saw in the last fight, he reminds me of Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason has that same type of mentality. He's very controlled. He's never out of position, and he's always paying attention to defense. Now, what I did see from Abdullah Mason his last fight, he did get hit with a couple of shots, but that was because he was going for the knockout. He was trying to get his guy out of there, but he couldn't get him out of there. But other than that, I mean, I would say I'm more impressed with Abdullah Mason doing it than I am with Shushu, because Abdullah Mason is only 19 years old.
Let me ask you this.
He's brilliant.
Let me ask you this. You think that and I know what punch you're talking about. You think that same left hook would have hit Shushu? Because I don't see Shushu get hit that much. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't. I think he's so responsible defensively. I think we're talking about two different things. I think you're talking about the fluidity of his offensive defense, but when it comes to Shushu, man, this dude look like he's been fighting for years. Have you seen that?
No. But Abdullah Mason don't normally get hit. I think, like I said, I think he was over aggressive with this last fight because he was trying to get his guy out of there. But he was in there with a guy that was just very tough, and he don't get stopped that often. Matter of fact, I don't even know if he's ever been stopped before. But he was in there with a guy.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think he's ever been.
He was in there with a guy that's very tough, and I think he was just trying to get him out, because Abdullah Mason he really don't get hit. Like anytime you see Abdullah Mason, he looks the same way he walked in the ring. He looked the same way walking out of the ring. He very seldom take a shot.
I agree with that. My man Tommy said yes over Hitchens. I get what y'all saying. I think, you know what's funny? I don't know if y'all remember the NBA draft some years ago. There was a Dwight Howard versus Emeka Okafor. And people said, would you get Dwight Howard, the raw prospect, over an already set thing like Emeka Okafor? And we kind of know how those careers ended. And I'm telling you, Hitchens to me is like a Dwight Howard, and I would probably look at Bruce Carrington as like a Emeka Okafor. Is that a bad comparison to you? Because I think he's a finished product. He can't get any better than that. I don't think he can get any better than that, Free. I don't see him getting any better than that.
Nah, that's a bad analogy to me. It would be more so. I would say they're more so a Kevin Garnett and a Tim Duncan. I would say they're more so Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan. Like Bruce Harrington, he's a little more flashy than Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason not too flashy. He just stick to the game plan. Like Bruce Harrington, he's a little more flashy.
No, I'm talking about Hitchens. I'm talking about Hitchens versus Shushu is what I'm talking about.
Oh, Hitchens versus Shushu. Oh,
yeah, Hitchens versus Shushu.
Yeah. I would say that. Yeah,
because Abdullah Mason, he's like 19, man. He's like on a whole different planet than both of them, in my opinion. He's so young and good. They're not even in his league. That's just me. I'm talking about Hitchens versus Shushu. I think they're in the same league. So I was saying that's why I said I feel like Shushu is more of a finished product, and I feel like Hitchens got more to grow. He just probably won't be as good as Abdullah Mason. I don't really see him being as good as Abdullah Mason. I think
I think Hitchinson is still learning. I think Shushu is much further along than Hitchens, but that's not all his fault because he was in a bad camp before he decided to leave it and switch camps because he remember I mean he was with Floyd and
Yeah.
they was solely focused on Tank Davis, so they wasn't
Mhm.
spending a lot of time with him, so he had to leave that camp and go to another camp where they're going to spend more time with him. So it's not solely his fault, but yeah, I think he still got a lot more to learn.
Yeah. Who would be his World War comparison to you, man? Kitchens.
Hitchens, far as
Pro comparison.
trying to think who is Hitchens comparison would be. Um, I would say Hitchens. You know who Hitchens remind me of, and he remind me of a Vernon Forrest. That's what he reminds
Mm.
me of. He remind me of a Vernon Forrest.
Yeah, Vernon
He,
was nice when he first got in the. Yeah, he was. I
yeah,
could see that.
he
He was
reminded me
nice.
of a Vernon Forrest.
Yeah.
He has decent footwork. He got good defense, and he got a nice boxing style. And it's like you can't really you can't really figure out Vernon Forrest because of his defense. It was just
Hmm.
that when he got in there with what's the Spanish dude name? The nigga that he couldn't beat, but he beat Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley beat him, but Vernon Forrest couldn't beat him.
I know I got it on the tip of my tongue, pause, but I can't say. I know exactly what you're talking about. Where it's like where it showed that whole triangle theory is not real.
Yeah, it was the triangle theory. They all fought each other twice. Vernon Forrest beat Shane Mosley twice. Shane Mosley beat Mayorga.
Mayorga.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Perfect.
He couldn't.
Salute to
Vernon
my man
Forrest
Tommy.
couldn't beat Mayorga, but Mayorga could beat Shane Mosley. I mean, couldn't beat Shane Mosley, but Vernon Forrest beat Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley couldn't beat Vernon Forrest. So it was like a big ass right. It was like a big ass. But that's the only person I saw that can actually figure out Vernon Forrest. I don't even think he figured out Vernon Forrest. I think he just got into Vernon Forrest's head. He got into his head, and Vernon Forrest just wasn't in the right mind state when he got in the ring the two times that he got in the ring with him.
Well, let me ask you this. So now I don't know this to be true. I've heard this rumor. What you think? Do you think it'd be a good idea for Errol Spence to get away from DJ?
Hell no. Hell no.
Why do
No.
you say that?
For what? They got one loss. What?
No,
One
what I'm
loss.
saying is he's been with him since he started. It's always good to get a fresh voice in there. You don't think so?
No.
You see what Emmanuel Stewart did for Battalion and Vladimir Klitschko. You don't think a new voice to do something for him?
That's because Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko had bad trainers. They had bad trainers. That's why they left.
Me and you just talked about this, bro. Vitaly Klitschko is probably one of the most talented heavyweights ever, bro.
Under Emmanuel Stewart. Under Emmanuel Stewart. Not before he got with Emmanuel Stewart.
I would listen. I wouldn't disagree with it. I'm just saying what I seen Vitaly beat the dog crap out of Lennox till he got cut. I've seen that. That, man.
But like I said,
And
I mean,
so
if would we be having the same talk if Earl Spence would have beat Bud? No. We would not be having the same talk. So because he got one loss, now we think, oh, he might need to leave Derrick James. No, he don't.
that bad a loss though. That's the thing, Free. That's a pretty bad loss, Free.
So what? Muhammad Ali got his ass whooped by Joe Frazier, and he came back in a rematch and beat the shit out of Joe Frazier.
He never trained for that first fight.
It doesn't matter. He had the same trainer. He had the same trainer. He got his ass whooped, and then he came back and beat the shit out of Joe Frazier.
You tell him he got whooped like that. He was out the ring 3 years. That wasn't the same type of thing.
He's been out of the ring 3 years. Earl Spence he had a total of what? 2 fights.
15 months.
And he had a total of 2 fights in 4 years. He had a total of 2 fights in 4 years.
Hey, salute to my brother. He said, yeah, Super Tay Tay, what she say? Salute D Free in the chat. He said,
What's
yes,
going
he
on, Tay
did,
Tay?
BBO. I agree with that, Tay Tay. Hey, but you know what's so funny? And that's the thing I'm saying, Free. Maybe a new voice might be needed. I think maybe Eddie Reynoso, or even it probably never happened, but I think, maybe a Joe Goosen would be good for Errol Spence. You don't think so?
What? Hell no. Them niggas is horrible. They trash. Joe Goosen ain't never developed Joe Goosen has never developed a champion. Never. Never.
What is Chico? Corrales, what is Chico then?
They was champions when Joe Goosen got them. He didn't develop them. They was champions when he got them. He ain't never developed a champion. No, Joe Goosen is trash. We just seen Joe Goosen. What the fuck did he do with fucking Ryan Garcia? Oh, you with a guy like Ryan Garcia, you don't try to change him. You just collaborate with him. What kind of fucking bullshit is that? No, that's horrible.
So that's what I'm saying. So you basically telling me DJs like Eddie Futch or Angelo Dundee, there's nobody better than him in boxing.
I ain't saying there's nobody better than him, but he's not a bad trainer because he had one loss. Now you can say, oh, he's a bad trainer. No, he's not. Did y'all say that motherfucking Charlo needed to get rid of Derrick James when he lost to Tony? No, y'all didn't.
We say he needed to get away from Ronnie Shields. He got away from Ronnie Shields and see what happened.
Did y'all say that he needed to get away from Derrick James when he lost to Tony? No, y'all didn't. He didn't lose under Ronnie Shields. He lost under Derrick James. Y'all didn't say he needed to leave Derrick James then. So why Earl gotta leave?
But I'm just saying, you don't think a Kenny Porter could do a better job?
No, y'all gotta understand. When you got a fighter that's 33 years old, it ain't no new shit you want to be teaching them. Because anything new that you teaching them, once the fights start going, he's gonna revert back to what he knows. So what you do is you fine-tune what he already has. You don't teach him nothing new. Only thing you might teach him, you might work him out a little bit harder, push him a little bit further. You don't do anything new because he's already set in his ways. Floyd Mayweather ain't learned no new shit as he got older. He fine-tuned what he already had. That's how he stayed undefeated.
Well, let me ask you this. Did we not see a difference in Oscar when he got with Floyd Sr.?
No, we didn't.
What? What are you talking about? He brought Oscar back to life. What are you talking about?
Dog, we did not see nothing new from Oscar. Oscar still had terrible footwork, no head movement. He still had the same shit. We didn't see nothing new.
What do you mean? We see some great performances out of Oscar. Oscar said it himself that Floyd Sr. was the best trainer ever. Best trainer ever.
Did Oscar win against Floyd?
No, he didn't get the keep.
So you ain't learned nothing new. He ain't learned nothing new.
Well, my brother Josh said, so if Bud ever lose a fight, people gonna say he need to leave Bomac. No, I think the thing
exactly.
Is this.
So why Earl got to leave? Bomac been with Bud from the amateurs. That don't even make sense. You're not gonna tell Bud he got to leave, but you say Earl got to leave.
No, I was asking, should he consider that? Should he consider leaving?
Should Bud consider it?
I honestly think Bud kind of coached a lot of that stuff himself. I think so.
I'm asking you, should Bud consider it if he lose?
Well, let me ask you this. So I see where you're going. Let me ask you this. We're talking, and listen to my brother Josh. This is what we're talking about, Free. We're talking about what we just seen. We just see a horrific performance.
Dog.
Can you admit that? Can you admit that, Free?
We saw
performance?
We saw a horrible performance, but we also saw somebody that everybody in the sport of boxing, every motherfucking diehard boxing fan said Earl did not look the same, and he was at that weight class way too fucking long. That's what we saw.
But ain't that the same thing that Bud said everybody would say back in 2018?
And that's what Bud said about what?
That's what Bud said in 2018. He said, when I stop Errol, y'all gonna say he stayed at the weight class too long. He was weight drained. He should have never stayed there that long. That's exactly what Bud said.
Yeah, because he should have fought him in 2018, not in motherfucking 23. He knew he wasn't going to fight him in 2018. That's why he said that. He knew it was going to be a long time before he fight Earl. That's why he said they were going to say he should have been out of the weight class, because he knew he wasn't fighting him in 2018 when he should have fought him.
He says, one fight, BBO, are you serious? All the fighters Earl did bad. He takes one one whooping and he done, for you can't be serious. I'm not saying he can't be done, but that's what I ask you, Free. So after we seen that, he just looked so bad. Pause. I'm just wondering, what can he do different, in your opinion? Because he took away Errol's jab. What could Errol do different?
What did Muhammad Ali do different?
That's not the same. That's not a fair comparison.
Yes,
Errol
it
Spence,
is. Because Muhammad Ali looked bad against Joe Frazier the first fight. He looked horrible. He looked. Everybody was saying Muhammad Ali needed to retire. The same shit they said about Earl. That's what they said about Muhammad Ali.
They did.
He needed to retire, and he came back and he whooped the shit out of Joe Frazier the second time.
So you basically telling me you think that Errol Spence got that same kind of moxie to go in there and beat a guy like Bud Crawford? Honestly,
he very well could. He very well could. We don't know until they get in the ring. But my whole thing is, y'all not listening to what the man said himself. He said, I have no complaints.
He did say
Bud was the better fighter. He said, hopefully we can have this rematch at 154. I believe I can do better. He never said that he could win the fight. He just said he believed he could do better. He don't like his performance that he had at 47. He don't like that performance. He don't want to go out with that performance. He said, I believe I can do better.
He said, yeah, you basically are. It's not one fight. Errol took more damage outside the ring than inside the ring. This is what I'm saying. So are we going to really blame a car accident that happened, 3-4 years ago? We still talking about that car accident?
No, I'm gonna put it this way. If you play football,
Yeah.
You take a headshot and get a concussion. Take another headshot, get a concussion. Aren't you going to be sustainable to getting a concussion? So you're going to be a little iffy than dipping your head into that motherfucker hole like you normally would.
That's true. I'll give you that. That's true.
So yeah, you can't say, are we going to blame the car accident from 3 years ago? If it's something that seriously happened to them that we don't know about, that because they're not putting it out there in the media, that we don't know that happened to them, it very well could be something from the car accident. I'm not saying that it is, but it very well could be. We don't know, because only like I said many times before, only Earl knows his body. He knows what he can do and what he can't do. So if the man said he feel that he would do better at 54, all I can do is go by what the man said. The man hasn't lied to me yet.
Okay, so let me ask you this: why won't he fight a guy like Brian Castano before he fights Bud at 154? Wouldn't that be a better fight?
No, it wouldn't be a better fight.
Why wouldn't it? Because you at least got to get your feet wet at the division.
Is to get your feet wet in the division, but he ain't worried about getting his feet wet in the division. He worried about getting his get back. You act like he's going up there and he's fighting somebody that's already been at the division. Bud ain't been at 54 neither. They both moving up to 54 at the same time. Neither one of them has been at 54.
Well, I'll say this. So what do you think about all this talk that Floyd said about Errol should be at 160, 168? You think that's a true thing, or that's just him talking?
It could be. I mean, like I said, everybody looks and give their opinion, but like I said, Earl is the only one that knows how his body is, if his body's going to be right at 54 or if it's going to be better for him to go to 160. Earl is the only one that knows that. But I mean, everybody's looking and say, okay, Earl is a big dude. He needs to be at 160 or 168. He don't need to be at 54. 54 is not a big enough weight class for him. He need to move up another weight class. So that's everybody else looking in. But like I said, everybody's body is different. So you going by what you believe. I mean, well, Floyd is going by what he believes, but that doesn't mean because that's what he believes is true.
So let me ask you this: so if he loses again by knockout, does this ruin Errol's career?
No. Did it ruin Mike Tyson's career? He got knocked out multiple times. Did it ruin Roy Jones' career? He got knocked out multiple times.
But that was at the very, very end.
It don't matter. Who's to say that this is not at the very end of Earl Spence's career? We don't know how much longer Earl Spence is going to fight.
That's a good point. He said he gonna fight Castano, but he got unfinished business with Bud. Just like in real life, if you don't get on a flight, if you don't get on a fight and get your head whooped, you're gonna want your get back. I don't care who you are. He said, not because it's just from one man. All I say is this: I agree with what y'all saying. I'm just saying this. I'm just wondering, where is the confidence coming from? Because I'm hearing so many people say, "Oh, Errol Spence gonna get his get back. He's gonna be stronger." D-Free, we talking about 7 pounds. We're not talking about a lot of weight here. We talking about 7 pounds. Is that really gonna help him that much?
Yeah, 7 pounds is a lot of weight.
Seriously?
In the sport of boxing, it is. Not in real life. In the sport of boxing, 7 pounds is a lot of weight. So, 7. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Say you walk around at 195. Let's use this example. You walk around at 195.
Mm-hmm.
You got to cut down to 160, and it's hell cutting down to 160. But you doing it. You're not missing weight on the scale or none of that. But it's hell cutting down to 160. Then all of a sudden you go to 168, and you only got to cut down. You only got to cut down to 168 instead of 160. That's 8 pounds. Not a big difference. If you think about it, you say 8 pounds is not a big difference. But when you're cutting weight, you're like, okay, I ain't got to lose as much. I only got to lose motherfucking 27 pounds instead of losing motherfucking 30-something pounds. Instead of losing 35, I only got to lose 27. That's a big difference.
I see what you're saying.
Depends on what you walk around. So he might walk around at 170. So him cutting down to 147, that's a lot of weight. But if he only got to cut down to 154, he's only cutting down 16 pounds instead of cutting down motherfucking 23 pounds.
Okay, I see what you're saying. My brother Josh said, now, if multiple fighters are whooping Errol Spence's tail in the ring, then it should be considered to hang him up. But if Bud beat him twice, he can still go and have a great career. I see what you're saying. I'll put it like this. Do you guys think, and this is just me asking, do you guys think that Arturo Gatti looked the same after Floyd beat him up like he did?
Man, Arturo Gatti ain't look the same after he got his ass whooped by everybody.
Hey, I just know about Arturo Gatti. I knew you was about to throw him in the trash.
That man got whooped by motherfucking Mickey Ward twice. That man got whooped by Floyd. He got whooped by a lot of people.
He Ward could fight, man.
He was just a warrior. But that man got whooped by a lot of people. He was just a warrior.
I know we gotta do some talking behind the scenes, so we go wrap the show up a little bit earlier than usual, so we can get ready for that draft show tomorrow. But let me ask you this: do you think that Andre Ward could ever beat somebody as good as Arthur Beterbiev at 175?
I say at one time he might have been. Not now. Definitely not now. But at one time he might have been. I mean, it's hard to say because they never fought, so it's hard to say. And but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like motherfucking Andre Ward never got hit. He just never got hit by somebody like Arthur. Arthur, like when he got hit by what's your face? What's the nigga name?
Sergey Kovalev.
Yeah, Sergey Kovalev. If that would have been Arthur, Andre Ward could have fucked around and be asleep because Arthur hit much harder than Sergey Kovalev. He hits much harder than him. So I mean, it's hard to say, but like I said, at one time he might have been good enough to beat him. He might have been. Even now, because they roughly around the same age. I think Andre.
Yeah,
Ward,
they are. They're exact
roughly
same age, I think.
So I don't think Andre is good enough to beat him now because for one, Andre got bad knees, and Arthur is going to put the pressure on him, and Andre can't move around the ring like he once could, so he's going to be pickings for Arthur Beterbiev now. So I don't think he will be able to beat him now, but at the peak of his career, he might have been good enough to beat him at the peak of his career.
So basically, in my opinion, do you think Arthur's gonna go down as probably the greatest or one of the greatest lightweights of all light heavyweights of all time? Because I think he could be Holyfield. I think he could be Holyfield as good as
he's not gonna go down. He's not gonna go down as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I mean, light heavyweights of all time, because for one, he doesn't have enough fights, and for two, he's never became undisputed, and that's not because of him. That's because of the sanctioning body. But so he's going to be considered as one of them, but not the greatest light heavyweight. But he'd be considered as one of them.
So his career is a disappointment then, if we go off of that logic.
Somewhat it is. Because, like I said, because of the sanctioning body, he's not able to become undisputed. Because I think he'll beat Demetrius Bivol. I think he'll beat him. But we'll never know because the sanctioning body is not trying to sanction that fight.
So when you say sanctioning, so they can make the fight and the sanctioning bodies could block it from being undisputed anyway?
Yeah, they could fight, but it wouldn't be for undisputed because the WBC won't sanction that fight. So they could fight for the other belts. The other belts could be on the line, but the WBC wouldn't be on the line because the WBC is not sanctioning that fight.
That's crazy, man. Hey, but I'm gonna hit you in a private chat. I'm gonna text you after we get off of this line so we can get ready for our football show so we can get that draft going. But it's your boy BBO. It's your boy D Free. We're gonna be back. We're gonna do more. We actually gonna be back a couple more shows this week. So that's why we ended this one a little early because Labor Day we're gonna go have some fun. But we out of here. Shoot to my brother Josh, man. He said if it was for their, they would have all the belts controlled. BBO. He said if it is for their belt, they would have all the control. BBO. I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you, man, what we see with Arthur Beterbiev, they stealing that man's career from him. I think that's crazy, D Free. They stealing his career from him. I've never seen a guy this talented just get his whole career stolen from him, man. It's a travesty, man. And Mauricio Suleiman, them brothers should be like out of boxing. They stole that kid's career from him, man. That's crazy, man. But that's my rant for the day. It's your boy BBO, it's your boy D Free. Roll with the Punches, episode 19. We coming back. Peace.
Peace.